United 0, Crystal Palace 0. Listen, it was disappointing. It felt like a loss. I need to fix my light here. It looks a little bit dark, as if I'm in a closet or something. We got to take care of that. See, man, this is what it's all about being live, man. Anything can happen. All right, man, we're going to talk about Manchester United. Manchester United 0, Crystal Palace 0. Disappointing, but you know what? We do have some positives to take from it, right? So basically, the numbers, they're very clear, especially when it comes to, Joshua Zirkzee, right? And is Ten Hag missing a trick when it comes to his substitutions? All right, so we're gonna break it down and see. All right, well, what happened, right? Because we noticed that in that game, Joshua Zirkzee, especially him, was giving us something that we didn't have before, and we noticed a huge drop off as soon as Ten Hag substituted him, right? And also when Eriksen was substituted and Amad Diallo substituted, we saw a huge drop off, and that's something that it's alarming, because ideally for substitutions, as a coach, I know he was trying to go for the win. You want to make subs that can improve, take the team to the next level. But it didn't look that way, right? All right, so let's start with numbers when it comes to Joshua Zirkzee while he was on the pitch, right? Basically, United's first. Let's see. All right, so with Joshua Zirkzee, United's final third pass accuracy was an impressive 73.4%, and the team's average was 1.52 final third passes per minute. This was him on the game, right? But when Zirkzee came off, those numbers plummeted. 60.7% accuracy and just 0.57 passes per minute, right? You can see the huge drop off there when Zirkzee came out of the game, because he was that link up, the glue, right? He would drop back, get the ball, easy look up to see who's open, and send the pass through. He was playing it very simple. Like I did not know Zirkzee could be that an integral part of our team, but that's what he was. He is bringing us something that we didn't have before. People, smash a like as you're coming in. Hit that subscribe if you haven't done so. We're talking about Manchester United 0-0 draw with Crystal Palace. Yes, it feels like a loss. Yes, disappointing, but we have some positives to take from it, right? So that's what we're going to talk about here today. We started talking about Joshua Zirkzee by numbers, right? What he gives us, right? Again, his pass accuracy was 73.4%, and the team average was 1.52 in the final third when it comes to passes, right? When he came off, those numbers plummeted to 60.7 accuracy and just 0.57 passes per minute. Nearly 3 times the passes in the final third with Zirkzee on the field, which pretty much when he came off, it kind of it sunk, right? Now, I know a lot of fans were calling for, people are like, okay, Ten Hag needs to make some changes here, right? But in that game, as it was going on, watching that game, we're like, okay, I know he's going to make some changes, maybe Zirkzee for Rasmus, that kind of situation, but it really didn't go like that, right? Now let's talk about our midfield. So the midfield, we can take some moment basically to, a lot of people, I don't know, I was one of them too. When I saw that the Ten Hag's team, and I saw Eriksen on there, and I was like, Ten Hag, that's pretty bold, man. Because we knew that he has the likes of Manu Ugarte on the bench. You have Casemiro on the bench, and we thought, like, listen, Crystal Palace, they're gonna overrun us if we just have Eriksen on there. So basically, let's take a moment to appreciate Christian Eriksen. Some people, of course, myself included, were kind of complaining or kind of worried of him starting once again, but he has proven why he's absolutely class. Right, his control, vision, and passing have been crucial in creating chances. And Eriksen has been pulling the strings alongside Ahmad and Zirkzee. These three were crucial, right? And Eriksen, what he gives you is that ease of pass. You never see him running all over the place, all over the field, trying to get to tackles or trying to win balls and stuff like that. He plays his game very simple, and basically that's what he does. He gives you that control, and he has that vision, to see, okay, where my next pass should be, right? So, but when those players were taken off, Zirkzee, Ahmad, and Eriksen, we completely lost control, right? It's like pulling the plug on a technical player, right? Zirkzee, Ahmad, and Eriksen were giving us a level of fluidity we haven't seen in a while, right? In that midfield, we were smooth, man. Like, honestly, the first 45 minutes, I'd never seen us play that well, right? And, a lot of it, you got to owe over to Zirkzee, Eriksen in that midfield, and Amad Diallo, technical players, right? So, so basically, like, and when those three were pulled off, like Ahmad, Eriksen, and Zirkzee, once again, it was up to Bruno now to shoulder the more responsibility, right? And basically, guys, yesterday we saw Bruno struggle, right? He was not effective at all. He missed, I don't know, like there was a stat out there, like Bruno lost like, I don't know, like over 20 passes. Crazy. Like basically Bruno Fernandes yesterday, he deserved to be subbed, right? And that's one of a lot of people that are going to be complaining, or they're raising concerns that, hey, Ten Hag, what are you doing, man? Like Bruno, you see him stinking up the place, but you're not subbing him. You're keeping him into the game, right? Now, is it because Ten Hag believes that, oh, it's Bruno Fernandes, at any point he could pull something off his pocket, and next thing we have a goal, right? Or is it if he subs Bruno, then there's not going to be anybody else to create for us, which is not correct, because honestly, with Eriksen on there, Ahmad, we're having chance creation, right? Bruno was terrible. He should have been subbed. Bring in the likes of, I don't know, Mason Mount was on the bench, someone else, because Bruno was not doing it for us yesterday, guys. Which is it's frustrating. Because Ten Hag, people are kind of saying, oh, he has his favorites and all this stuff, but yesterday was a chance to show everybody, like, listen, nobody's safe in this team, right? If I start you and you don't deliver, you are gonna get subbed. We saw he didn't start Rashford. Ten Hag said he was technical, right? But again, initially we would have thought, okay, Rashford will start because he has been scoring, but again, Garnacho was, he has been playing very well, so Garnacho deserved to start. In the midfield again, Eriksen, he has been incredible in the last two games. Even like yesterday, listen, he was close to being man of the match pretty much in that midfield, Christian Eriksen. So again, I wouldn't be surprised if Eriksen starts again in the midfield come the next game, right? So, but Bruno deserves, honestly, in the next game, Bruno deserves to hold on to the bench, right? He doesn't deserve to start. Ten Hag needs to make other tactical moves. That way, Bruno sits on the bench, maybe comes second half or something like that. That way, he can impact the game. But he does not deserve to start, right? Based on how he performed yesterday. I think yesterday was like personally, I think it was the worst game that Bruno has played for us, right? So yeah, he was extremely wasteful. He doesn't take care of the ball. He's like, Bruno is so as if he's being pressured. Okay, when you get the ball, boom, get it out of your feet and find the next pass. Playing those Hollywood passes. I mean, that's unacceptable from our captain. You got to be more composed. You got to be like, hey, telling everybody to chill. We got this, right? We got our game plan. We're going to execute it, and then we're going to get the win, right? Not be so quick to be like, okay, boom, trying to get Hollywood passes. The one chance Bruno got on first half, when he could have just put his foot through it, he could have scored that. He tried to do the Trivela, like, hitting with the outside of his foot to try to score, and he missed. Like, come on. It's one of those, like, a player like Bruno, experienced Man United captain, He just got a kind of new bump in pay contract from us. He needs to be delivering. And so far, ever since this season started, honestly, Bruno has not been delivering. So it's time for him to be like, you know what, Ten Hag should be, Bruno, you haven't been delivering. Okay. The numbers show, you have seen yourself that you haven't been delivering. Hold on to the bench, right? Give somebody else a chance. You know what I mean? Because there are other players out there who can deliver. Now we have Mason Mount back. Maybe it's time you start Mount and Christian Eriksen, right? And listen, a lot of people, I was one of them who was Christian Eriksen needs to be out of this team because, his legs are gone and all this stuff. But it shows that once you're a good player, technical player, you really don't need to be running all over the place like we see Bruno does, right? You can control the ball, look for the passes, and let the ball do the job instead of you running, chasing, and trying to run like crazy. So Eriksen does not really do that, but he's very effective in the field, right? Now, let's jump into other things. What are some of the positives? Now, there were some positives. Of course, Dalot inverting worked really well, giving us another layer in the build-up play, right? Dalot inverting into the midfield like a six. That was pretty decent. That was really good because it gave us more control in the midfield. We were not overrun. Basically, we didn't even concede any shots like that. I think the Crystal Palace first shot was in the 40th minute, right? Which was it's something that something we struggled with controlling the midfield. So Dalot inverting into the midfield, that was crucial, right? It was crucial. So that's one of the positives, right? And of course, we should have scored at least 2 goals in the first half. We saw Garnacho hitting the crossbar. Bruno did the same thing, and Bruno with that hitting the ball with the outside of his foot instead of putting his foot through it. That was disappointing, right? And then Joshua Zirkzee also missed one. So again, basically, when we had that control in the first half, we should have taken our chances, right? When it comes to, I saw a stat that was pretty crazy, right? The stat that when it comes to Manchester United, right, creating chances. Listen, we create a whole bunch of chances, but when it comes to missing chances, we are sitting top of the table, right? Manchester United, we are sitting top of the table when it comes to chances missed in a game. So I saw this stat somewhere. I don't know if I can find it, but it's like we create a whole bunch of chances and we miss a whole bunch. Oh yeah, so big chances missed. Manchester United are number 1. We have 17. Number 2 is Aston Villa with 12, Liverpool with 12, Southampton with 11, Tottenham with 11, Brentford is 9. So Manchester United, we are basically top when it comes to chances missed. So basically, we create a whole bunch of chances, but we are not bearing them. Like we're not putting the ball back of the net, which is really frustrating because Ten Hag, he can set the team up in a way where you create chances, right? And you as players, you as strikers, you're supposed to put the ball in the back of the net. The coach only can do so much. Say, hey, this is how I want you guys to play. And then when you get to where you need to the box, put the ball in the back of the net. We haven't been able to do that. Now, the positive is we are actually controlling games. We are not getting overrun. The possession is good. The movement of the ball from back to front. We are playing really decent. Our defense is solid. 3 games in a row now, we haven't considered a goal, right? So the defense is playing well. When it comes to defense, listen, one player I'm going to shout out in that right back is Mazraoui. Mazraoui has been, to me, the bargain of the season, the buy of the season. That guy has been incredible. He's technical. He can play with both feet. His decision making is just incredible. What a player that we got for such a bargain, like 15 million for Mazraoui. Unbelievable. But yeah, so basically, so that's what is happening. We're creating chances, but we're not bearing them. We're not putting them away, which is it's frustrating, right? So and basically we are not taking those chances, which absolutely ruined what we could have been a standout performance. Because in the first half, honestly, if we took the Garnacho chance or Bruno chance and we were like 1 goal up or 2, that could have been it. We could have scored like 3 or 4 more because the team would have had more motivation to push on to keep pressing, and it could have been downhill for Crystal Palace from that point. Because honestly, Crystal Palace could not do anything, especially in that first half for us, because we had that much control of the game, right? And that, again, it's a positive for Ten Hag and the team, the way he's setting them up, getting them to play in a certain way, and that way it looks like it's working. The only issue now is converting. And of course, another issue is Ten Hag's substitutions, right? Taking Zirkzee off, bringing Rashford, playing him in the middle. Rashford did not do anything for us, because playing him as a striker in the middle, he was not like dropping back to link up like Zirkzee did. So Rashford, from the moment he came on, for a while, he didn't do much. He didn't even touch the ball, kind of thing, right? Which was, what is the point of bringing him to play in Zirkzee's spot? If you if you're taking off Zirkzee, you bring in Rasmus, right? And then, if anything, if you bring in Rashford, you bring Rashford to the left to sub Garnacho, right? That's what would make sense. But Ten Hag's decision was, it really didn't work. And basically, by him taking those players out, taking Eriksen, taking Zirkzee, taking Ahmed, it kind of killed our momentum, right? Ever since they were taken out, the game went flat, right? We were not creating. We were just making silly long balls and stuff like that, which was crappy, right? So the second half, we know it was absolutely poor, which is frustrating because we were dominant in the first half, but the missed chances, especially in the first half, completely took the wind out of our sails. So hopefully Ten Hag, he learns from these games, because his substitution, in-game management, we have all been frustrated with that. It hasn't been good enough, right? Number of times Ten Hag has been outplayed by other coaches. Like even Crystal Palace, they knew that we didn't have much control in that midfield. They brought in an extra midfielder. Then they go control the game, but we didn't make any tactical changes to counteract that. So Ten Hag hasn't really shown that he has that technical nous to say, oh, okay, they're making this change, I'm going to go and make this change here, that way to counteract it. He has struggled with that. So we haven't really seen him do very well when it comes to, in-game management, making sure that we secure the win, right? Making sure that we can go up a gear, right? Instead of like yesterday, all the changes, it killed us, right? And that is on him, because that game, we should have definitely won that game. We had majority control, the ball possession. We had the most possession during the game, and we created the most chances, but we just did not finish them, right? So, which is frustrating, but we did see some good stuff, and hopefully we do have, next game is 20 coming up, and then after that we got Tottenham. Now listen, right now we're sitting, I don't know, we're sitting, what's our position? We're sitting maybe like something frustrating, like Man United, we're sitting 11th. That is, man, it sucks, right? We're sitting 11th, but our next game in the Premier League is Tottenham. Now, it's going to be a tough game, right? It's going to be a tough game against Tottenham, but again, that's another game that we have to win if we want to move up the table, right? If we lose against Tottenham, it's not going to be looking good, right? It's not going to be looking good. All right, let's jump into the player ratings, guys. Let's jump into the player ratings. You guys let me know, if you agree with my ratings. What do you think about Ten Hag and his tactical changes, what he did in that game? Did he put us in a position to actually win the game? Let me know in the comments below. Smash those likes, hit that subscribe if you haven't done so. I appreciate you guys being here. All right, player rating. Andre Onana, I'm going to give him 7 out of 10. In a week where David Raya double save for Arsenal was lauded, everybody was, oh yeah, did you guys see that David Raya double save? Well, Onana matched it with a stunning double stop to keep out Nketiah, and then blocked Sarr's follow-up. It was even more impressive considering he had little else to do. Basically, like, look, Onana, that double save saved us in that game, man. Like, he parried the first one, and then Sarr was coming for the follow-up. He got up again and blocked it. That was nice. That was nice. So Onana, 7. I agree. Mazraoui, 6.5. I would say he handled the tricky task of keeping Eze quiet and put in a solid performance on that right back position. Definitely, Mazraoui to me, he's the, again, as I said, bargain of the season, buy of the season player, killing it, keeping his head down, but pulling trees every time he's on the field. I'm always looking forward to see what he can do. So I think 6.5 is definitely um, a good a good rating for him. Matthias de Ligt, listen, after scoring against Southampton last week, he went close again. De Ligt handled Mateta's physicality well and made a crucial interception against Eze. Yeah, Eze was about to cut back in that wing, and then Matthias de Ligt slid and made sure that ball does not go through. And to me, Matthias de Ligt gives us that good old fashioned defending, like physical, in your face, like like tenacity. I love that. And also he allows us to advance the ball into the midfield, right? Which is really good. And also dangerous in set pieces. The Ligt should have scored again when he went for that header, right? He just hit it too down. I did hit it a little bit on the side. I'm sure he could have been able to score. So yeah, so I think Matthias de Ligt at 7 is a good rating for him. Lisandro Martinez 6.5. He defended very well as always, adding a range of passing from the back. Again, he got booked for a two-footed challenge on Eze, which could have been worse, as the Palace claimed it should have been a red. Listen, that double-footed pass from from Lisandro Martinez, I mean, that was all ball, man. I know a lot of people are like, yeah, it should have been a red and all this stuff. No, he went for the ball. He made sure that ball was not going to go through. All right, you guys let me know. Do you think Lisandro Martinez should have gotten a red for that one? You know what? I don't think so, man. So rating 6.5, I agree. Diogo Dalot playing out of position on the left. He had to deal with Nketiah, but still managed to provide a brilliant pass that almost led Garnacho to goal. Yeah, man, that through ball pass from Dalot, that, man, Garnacho should have buried that. But again, I like the fact that the way Ten Hag is playing Dalot, inverting him into the midfield, that is something that, it gives us more solidity in the midfield. That is really good to end Dalot. He's a workhorse, technical as well, always available, and he's playing very well so far. So at 6, I think is reasonable. Kobe Mainoo, man, was full of energy, creativity in the midfield. He hasn't hit top form as of yet this season, but helped United control the middle of the park at large parts of the game. And I think Kobe Mainoo playing alongside Christian Eriksen, I like that because Christian Eriksen and himself, they're very technical players. So, the ball was moving very smoothly in that midfield. So again, that's another good combination between Eriksen and Kobe Mainoo. And Ten Hag has said, listen, he did see the connection between Mainoo and Eriksen, and he wanted to continue that in this game. And we did see it. They worked very well together in that midfield, controlling the midfield, making sure the ball moves quickly from back to front, finding targets, linking up with Zirkzee, Ahmad, Garnacho. So Kobe Mainoo did very well there. So I think a 7 is it's a good rating. Christian Eriksen, he looked more comfortable in compact United setup, but didn't create as much as I would have hoped. Yes, he did not create as much, but he gave us a huge control in that midfield. And Eriksen, he again, link-up play, technical nous, being able to read the game very well. I mean, he was incredible. So I think Christian Eriksen, I will give the 6 is good. Amad Diallo, I think Amad Diallo drifted in and out of the game very well. Basically taking a couple of times he made some wrong options, but again, Amad Diallo, he's very also very creative with both feet. His decision making is also very good. right? And I think he gives us a different option in that right wing that we didn't have before, right? He plays completely different from Garnacho, completely different from Anthony. Decision making. A couple of times yesterday we saw that he got crowded in by defenders, but he was able to either maneuver the ball that way he can get a corner or something like that. He didn't lose the ball as much, right? Right. So that was really good to see that Amad Diallo can give us that avenue, right? When it comes to on the wing, Bruno Fernandes, man, listen, I'll give Bruno a 5, right? He hit the ball, he hit the bar in the first half and curled another effort just wide. Yeah, when he curled that effort, he could have put his foot through it. He decided to use the Trivela, which was a mistake. Again, Bruno tried to create chances, but wasn't effective. Bruno was very wasteful, and he warranted to be subbed yesterday. But again, we already talked about it. Ten Hag should have definitely subbed him and give someone else a chance, in that midfield, and maybe leave Christian Eriksen, move Christian Eriksen in a 10, right, and maybe bring in Ugarte in that midfield, right, for Bruno kind of situation. That way you have more control in the midfield. But I think Christian Eriksen could have been able to play maybe, I don't know, 80 minutes or something like that. But Ten Hag also, took him up. Maybe he saw that he was getting tired. I think that was a mistake because, again, we lost that control in the midfield. Alejandro Garnacho, Garnacho to me was 6.5. He came in obviously for Rashford. But he failed to convert 2 chances. But again, you could see Garnacho, each time he was playing, he was creating problems for the fullbacks for Crystal Palace. He was dangerous, quick, speedy, and he was being creative, right? He should have definitely buried that goal when he hit the post, because that was a chance. Again, those missed chances that we get. We create the chances, but we keep on missing them, right, in the game. So that's something that we definitely have to work on if we were to, win matches. We create a number of chances, but we're not putting them in the back of the net, and which could be frustrating for Man United. Joshua Zirkzee, listen, Joshua, I'll give him 6.5. He's still finding his feet at United and may soon make people think that he may make way for Højlund, but will he really make way for Højlund? Because Zirkzee gives us something completely different that we don't have, right? Because ideally, the profile of players when it comes to Zirkzee and Rasmus Højlund is completely different. Zirkzee gives us that link-up play from the midfield, and then being able to get the ball with no fuss, looking up and making those simple passes to looking for Ahmad, looking for the wings, right? Grabbing the ball from the midfield and linking it up. That is Zirkzee's forte, right? He's not going to give us 30 goals, but he's going to be able to link the play, and that's something that we were missing. And having him in the game, now we're seeing, oh, this is something definitely we missed because we didn't have a player that can link up play like him, right? So going forward, I wouldn't mind say, hey, Ten Hag plays both of them, Zirkzee and Højlund, because imagine the link-up play from Zirkzee, and you have a point man up top in Rasmus Højlund. That is something that could work for us, right? Because Rasmus in the last season, he didn't have anyone creating for him, right? And now having the players that create, they can feed him the ball and he could find the back of the net. That is something that we did not have in the past. Now we have. So, Rasmus could flourish in that type of setup. Okay. So I really hope that, Joshua Zirkzee stays in the team and Ten Hag finds a way to incorporate him into the game. Bench, what's his name? Bruno, keep Zirkzee on there. At least he gives you the creativity, right? So honestly, I was very impressed by Joshua Zirkzee. All right, so what are the takeaways here? So Zirkzee's impact is definitely undeniable, right? We were a different team with him on the pitch, but Ten Hag's decision to pull him off shows that what a key player he is, and that's something that definitely Ten Hag needs to address. We've got Rasmus Højlund returning, and Malacia also should be coming back to give us some, much needed left back options, right? But for now, we need to start capitalizing on our dominance in the final third, right? We're dominating teams in the final third, but we are not clinical. So that being said, you guys let me know, should Ten Hag have kept Zirkzee on? And what is your take on Eriksen's performance? And are we missing a trick when it comes to Bruno Fernandes? Should he have been dropped, or what do you think about Bruno Fernandes, right? Make sure to leave a comment, and as always, make sure to smash the like, hit that follow if you haven't done so. All right. Yeah. So basically, that's all I got for you guys. I'll talk to you guys on the next one. Make sure to hit the subscribe as you're heading out. I appreciate you all. Thank you so much. Peace out.